Shaun, would just like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Shaun Martin. I'm the WHS manager for Wollongong City Council.
Thank you, Shaun. Shaun, can you just tell us a little bit about your relationship with the Global Safety Index and why you decided to become a GSI member?
Yeah, well, we started utilising the GSI program around August 2016, where we did our initial survey of all our staff. One of the reasons why we did that was because there was really nothing out there that we were able to get some really good information, quality information from our employees. In our survey, we've got over 1,200 employees. We had 828 who responded to that, which was fantastic. But the thing about the Global Index was able to give us a really good indicator, not just from an organisation perspective, but also down to a business level.
Shaun, can you talk to us more specifically about how you use the Safety Culture Index and the Safety Leadership Index within the business?
Okay, so from a cultural perspective, what we're using is getting an understanding exactly what is our culture and what makes up that culture, what sort of leadership is happening in that culture, because the leadership will drive that culture. So the Global Index is able to be broken down into what sort of behaviours that underpin that, and we're able to then measure that from, as I mentioned before, about measuring it from an operational level right up to cascade to an organisational level.
And what sort of results were you looking for? What sort of impacts were you hoping to achieve?
I think the first thing is about engagement. That's the first thing. Getting engaged with staff, feeling that they're getting responses, they're being heard and listened to, and their opinions are valued. And I think that's really important, is about engagement. I think credibility and consistency in terms of the information that we get from it, rather because it really drives into certain areas where you want to be able to measure. And then you're able to also, another good aspect of it is you're able to compare and benchmark within your organisation various different businesses of what areas of excellence, where other areas of opportunity. So you're able to categorise exactly why is that the case. And I think the other aspect is that the other avenue that this offers is to be able to benchmark ourselves also with other organisations so that we can learn from them in the areas that they're working really well on. So then we can look over the fence and have a look and learn and apply it in our business.
In respect to specifically leadership, Shaun, why did you feel that it was important to be measuring the leadership capability?
Look, the whole basis of being able to improve performance in the organisation, to be one of the best performers, is about leadership. And I think we lose that. People don't actually recognise that, because leadership underpins the whole performance of an organisation, and safety is one of those performance areas. And so it's about, as I mentioned, it's about engaging people, but importantly, people being able to understand what their responsibilities and their capabilities and how they can improve in terms of, for them to be a better leader in the organisation.
And how would you like to continue to engage with the Global Safety Index going forward?
Yeah, look, we're planning to do a further survey in August next year, in 2019. That's going to give us a picture of how we've progressed. It's also, in terms of in between that, we're also doing our leadership surveys, which we'll be doing, which is supported through our leadership program. So we're able to then also not only bench from an organisational perspective, but also to be able to measure and benchmark from an individual perspective. And that is right across from a senior leadership level, from the executive, right down to an operative person, because we're all leadership. And it's about measuring that leadership and giving people feedback on areas of where they can improve, and also share experiences of people who are doing really well in other areas where they can mentor others.